by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona, the big one is out. Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to the Rubbins Racin' Next Gen Series every Tuesday night, sponsored by Butt Kicker. Today, we're at the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're going to see what these guys can do late in the season for round 3. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name is James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second, as right now drivers are making their way out for qualifying, and we're going to have a special driver joining us before we start tonight. Let's see if we can drag him up here. Up first, Carter Lenz. You got your ears on?
I do.
Carter, I know it's a little bit unexpected, but your fans were almost demanding a pre-race interview here today. What's your feelings going into tonight's main event at Las Vegas?
Just hoping for a good race tonight. Calm, collected right now. Hopefully it doesn't turn into hopefully it's not Bristol last week, so
well, awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Well, awesome. Any plans for fuel strategy here tonight at Las Vegas, or is it just going to send it and see what happens?
Just guess we're going to find out.
Well, awesome. Carter, we wish you the best of luck, man, and I know your fans are rooting for you.
Alrighty, yep.
And that was Carter Lenz, currently qualified 19th. We're going to see if we can get this internet connection dialed in. Got something going on. All right, let's have a look at tonight's grid. It's Randall Hicks starting the number 1 spot. Robert Mathis Jr. starting 2nd. Logan Butler 3rd on the grid. Jake Vanaski starting 4th here today. Charlie Gates Jr. starting 5th. Jared Reed will start 6th on tonight's grid. Stephen Gibson starting 7th. Aaron Sire starting 8th. Matt Kleeman starting 9th tonight in the number 19 machine. Dominic DeLeo starting 10th in the number 22. Garrett Hall starting 11th on the grid. Then we've got Mark Cusano starting 12th out here today. Wayne Grennan starting 13th. Nick Leo starts 14th. Butch Taylor 15th on the grid. Kevin Haas starting 16th. David Reed starting 17th. Frank Perfin starting 18th. Joseph Penn in his debut starting 19th out here today. And then we've got Carter Lynn starting 20th to round out our field. Let's get ready to see what our drivers can do as things are about to get exciting here at Las Vegas. I, for one, am very excited to see what's going to happen. We got several new drivers making their way out here tonight. I know Joseph Penn is one of those drivers. He's coming out for the very first time. Let's see, it's Robert Mathis Jr., Randall Hicks up on the front row. Then we've got Jake Vanaski, Logan Butler, your second row. Jared Reed, Charlie Gates Jr. will round out our third row as we get ready for that iRacing pace car to make its way down. We've got 90 laps here at Las Vegas to make something happen. So far, it seems like it's been a new winner each and every week. Maybe that streak will continue as it's a pretty healthy grid out here today. As any second now, we're expecting that iRacing pace car to make its way down pit road. Now, talking to the drivers before tonight's broadcast, some of the guys were saying that the pit entry may be a little bit exciting if everybody starts coming down. But look at this, the pace car is in. And here we go at Las Vegas for 90 laps of the Rubbins Racin Next Gen Series. Still out front, Randall Hicks, but right behind him, Robert Mathis Jr., Jake Vanaski running side by side. Jared Reed's in the mix as well, that number 5 Ford Mustang. And already guys are trying to make some early moves here to get up front. As we got somebody way down on the apron. That looks like it's going to be Vanaski, the number 7 machine, who went way, way down there. And man, oh man, what a stacked field out here today. Everybody pushing hard early on. We've had 2, 3, 4 wide action early on to start this event off. But right now it's Jake Vanaski right out front, that number 7 Chevrolet. Logan Butler showing second, Randall Hicks third. It's going to be Charlie Gates Jr. takes over fourth ahead of Robert Mathis Jr. Robert Mathis Jr., excuse me. And the field looks like they're happy here, breaking down into 2 fairly large columns. As the sun's starting to set here at Las Vegas, I believe the end time is around 4 or 5 p.m. So depending on cautions, we may finish this under the lights here tonight. As we've got more 3-wide action, it's Matt Kleeman in the mix of it as well. He's currently 8th on track in that number 19 Ford Mustang. A lot of Mustangs, it looks like, out here today in the Next Gen Cup Series. As look at that, Vanaski really going down low towards the apron. Now, I'm not sure if these guys have a white line rule in effect or not, stating that you can or cannot go below the solid white line. As Vanaski seems to be pretty dedicated to making that line work, as Charlie Gates Jr. and Steven Gibson follow him in tow. Look at this, Nick Leo, the number 69 machine. He's up 10 spots so far tonight, making some big moves early on. I believe he's in the dual back race car. Yes, he is. He's trying to get on the back bumper of Steven Gibson's number 53 machine. That is Charlie Gates Jr., the number 55. He's looking to the high line, trying to work the side draft from the race leader. No, he's out there in no man's land right now. He's trying to get that second groove built up to him so they can maybe make a charge towards the front. What do we got going on here? Gates goes very, very high, and he's going to drop down the standings, now showing 8. I'm wondering if Charlie Gates in that number 55 machine is maybe seeing a crash coming in the future and just wants to avoid any carnage that he can. Vinoski running out front with Gibson and Leo in tow. Now these next gen Cup cars, I believe this is the 550 horsepower package, so drafting's pretty tough from what I've seen and heard from racers in the past trying to make any big advances, especially if the field breaks down single file. It makes it very, very hard to make anything happen, especially if you're trying to work that second groove and maybe try and side draft your competitors. So Leo, that number 69 machine, he's up 11 spots. Let's talk about Kevin Haas, the number 3 machine. He is up 8 spots early on tonight, having a good bit of fortune coming in his way and able to keep his nose clean, charging up through the field. For the most part, the field pretty stacked well together here, as pretty much everybody running a big old pack, not really getting apart from each other. Now I believe, oh, there's smoke. Somebody blew up and crashes back into the field. Was that Steve Gibson? Randall Hicks? Randall Hicks shows down. No, it's not Randall. Let's look at that again. It looked like somebody blew up. Oh, it wasn't a blow up. That was somebody got into Gibson and sent him on a wild ride, and he pokes back down the track, collecting several other drivers. I almost thought it looked, let's watch that once more from a different angle. It almost looked like the smoke came out of the engine, which is never good. But no, I think Gibson had some help in our wrecking reline. Let's back that camera angle up and look at the number 53 machine once more. See who he maybe got tagged by. That was the number 69 jewel-backed race car. Just gets into the back and not quite square. Sends him around, so Nick Leo may receive the EOL for that one. After Stephen Gibson and Randall Hicks will look to be just about done on our wreckage rewind. And that will bring out the first caution of the night. Let us know where in the world you're watching from and who you're cheering on, as we've got drivers initiating their first pit cycle of the night. Vinoski, Mathis, Grinnan, Sire, Hall, Butler, your top 6 opt to stay out here. I'm going to be interested to see how many drivers have collected some damage in that carnage, as 9 drivers stay out while 10th through 20th are all down pit road here. And man, poor Gibson, that number 53 machine, didn't do anything wrong, didn't look like he checked up, and next thing you know, he's on an absolute wild ride. We got Metric Hurdle cheering on Butler in the number 99 machine. Butler right now 6th on track in that Ford Mustang. He's down 3 spots from where he started, but still it's a long way to go. Only 15 laps in tonight. Should be able to bring home a top 5 if things stay in his favor. As we get the field gridded back up, double file. It's going to be Vinoski and Mathis on the front row. Sire and Grinning your second row. Hall and Butler your third row. As, somebody's got connectivity issues. I think that may be Butler, the number 99 machine, having a bit of problems there. Having some big problems, it looks like. Here we go. Pace car comes in for our first restart of the night. And away they go. The start looks to be good. Vinoski, Mathis, Grinning following in single file early on. And we've got, yeah, that's still, I think that's Butler with the really bad internet problems. He's now showing 9th as the inside line quickly gets some momentum formed up. So now it'll be David Reed, the number 52 Ford Mustang. He is running 5th on track, and he is our current hard charger, up 12 spots tonight, right in tow behind Garrett Hall's number 13 machine. Everybody playing a game of Snake and speeds of about 185 miles an hour here at the backstretch of Las Vegas. And a little bit of whiplash going on as we're going too wide up front. Looked like Mathis was trying to make a move onto Vinoski. And these guys running nose to tail, and that's what we saw brought out the earlier caution. Everybody trying to tuck in as close as you can, and just a little bit of an off-center bump at 185 miles an hour is enough to send you sliding around. And here we go. Here comes Wayne Grinning looking at the outside line, number 28 machine. He's beside Robert Mathis Jr., but every time these drivers hop out of line, it seems like the run just stalls out pretty fiercely. As you watch Vinoski go way down the apron, trying to make this mile-and-a-halfer as tight as he possibly can, and try and find a few hundredths of a second over Mathis, who is staying linked up with him nose to tail, as well as Garrett Hall, Wayne Grinning, all in the top 4, and you could throw a blanket over these cars. There's Jared Reed, the number 5 machine, trying to get the outside groove working, trying to use that side draft to his best of his advantage. Up front, Mathis trying to stay linked on Vinoski. Vinoski looks to be trying to shake him off to the best of his ability. As now Mathis may be trying to leave Vinoski on the inside groove. He's found some people to work with on the high line to maybe try and push that number 29 machine up front as he's side by side with Vinoski coming through turns 1 and 2. And they're going to go too wide behind him with Garrett Hall. Now Vinoski's going to get shuffled back to 4th. And the field maybe stacking up a little bit here behind him as everybody's trying to find some way through. When these guys are going 2 and 3 wide up front, it allows the rest of the pack to catch back up. And they can suddenly find themselves in podium contention. And look at Jared Reed, that number 5 machine now up to 3rd. Kevin Haas, your hard charger, he's up 4th. He's up 12 spots. As now that outside groove starting to get a little bit more momentum here. led by Reed on the outside line. He's accompanied by, I believe that's Haas, the number 3 machine. And ooh, Mathis looks like he got a shove from behind that wasn't quite square as the number 13 of Hall backs off slightly to avoid getting into the race leader. Butler getting the love and support of the friends out here. Now running 13th on track, but still a long race and still at least one more pit stop to go. Oh no! That's Charlie Gates Jr. going for a ride. And it's going to be carnage here at Las Vegas with several drivers involved. It looks like Gates, Kleeman, Leo all involved in that one. And Charlie gets the exact same thing we saw earlier, just a push from behind that wasn't quite square. No, that was not the case. I don't think I can fault anybody but maybe Charlie. Looks like he came down in front of the number 29 machine of Robert Mathis Jr., and that's going to collect several drivers there. And our wreckage rewind. Let's try and get a little bit tighter angle. And see what just happened in that wreckage replay. Yeah, number 55 machine maybe thought he was clear, but that was not the case. And here comes the carnage at Las Vegas. There's going to be a whole lot of drivers with damage on that one. Nowhere to go. And unfortunately, that will be our second caution of the night. But now the entire field's going to come down pit road with Jared Reed up front in that number 5 machine. So some very fast cars having their night ruined early here, and other drivers having some good luck. As Reed takes over the race lead. David Reed, I should say, the number 52 machine. He's showing as your race leader. I'm not quite sure how that is the case. Maybe pitting a lap later than he needed to. So that'll be the first pit stop out of David Reed, number 52 machine. So now it's going to show Kevin Haas, number 3. He's going to be up 14 spots as your race leader. And he'll be chased by Robert Mathis Jr. Let's see if Mathis maybe has some damage on that machine. The front end looks relatively clear. The splitter's still intact. And we're going to re-rack them once more with our third caution of the night. No, excuse me, our second caution of the night. And second restart of the evening. Now this is interesting. It still shows David Reed as your race leader on live timing. I can't possibly imagine that is correct. I'm not sure if maybe that's an error with the broadcast software or maybe something going on with iRacing itself. But we're going to try and update everything here and maybe see what's going on. As again, it shows David Reed out front. So let's see what's going to happen here. As Reed joining the back of the line. It's got to be some sort of error with the live timing loop here. Maybe picked up something wrong that shows David Reed as your race leader compared to Kevin Haas, who's up front and acting like he's the race leader at least. Or is the, oh, I've never seen this. Or is the entire field going to get a wave around? No, up front, they're gridding it up, double wide, getting ready for a start. Still shows David Reed out front. So up front, it's going to be Haas and Mathis on the front row. Pace car will be in this time by and away we go as the green flag flies. It's Robert Mathis Jr., Kevin Haas out front. Now somehow, I'm waiting for the live timing to update. It still shows David Reed almost a full lap ahead of our competition. Run around up front. As the field nice and stacked up here. Ooh, look at that. Haas and Mathis getting very close together. And now it's going to be Mathis charging his way towards the front. Oh, a little bit of bobbing and weaving down the backstretch here as all the drivers trying to find somebody to link up with nose to tail and get that draft working. As it is Robert Mathis Jr. now up front, Jared Reed second, Garrett Hall third, Wayne Grinnan showing in fourth. And look at the side-by-side action up front. It's Robert Mathis Jr. with a bright yellow number 29 numbers on his Ford Mustang. But, oh, speaking of Ford Mustang, it's Mustang running 1, 2, 3. We got Techno cheering on number 44 of Cusano. And number 69 of Leo is his second pick of the night. As Mathis off to a commanding lead here. Holding on to it ahead of Garrett Hall. Wayne Grinnan slotted into third. Jared Reed's number 5 bouncing around trying to find a line he wants to run in here. As we got somebody diving out, looked like pit road, but not seeing anything triggered on the live time of somebody, so maybe somebody just got loose. Jared Reed now slotting back to 9th. That may have been Reed having some problems. And the number 52 machine, he's going to be a lap down, I believe. That is David Reed hopping out of the way after, I guess, correcting that live timing problem. Not sure what happened. Maybe he picked up a penalty. And now it'll be Vanoski's turn to lead some laps just ahead of Robert Mathis Jr., Kevin Haas in third. Joseph Penn has worked his way up to fourth, and Butch Taylor has worked his way up into fifth. Joseph Penn, a newcomer to the series. I believe this might be his first official league race with a wheel. Normally Joseph finds himself running race control for different events, so good to see the driver out on track in that number 24 Toyota Camry. And his first ever broadcasted league event with the proper equipment, at least. And up front, Vanoski and Robert Mathis Jr. going side by side. Vanoski on the inside line, number 7. Mathis on the high line, number 29. Mathis going way, way wide here. Not finding anybody to help him out in the high groove as far as the draft goes. He's going to drop back in positions. He was up front. Now he finds himself in fourth and no way to get down on that inside groove as the field has stacked up single file. Interesting to see here that it seems like most guys are just happy running single file during the course of this fuel run, not quite to the halfway mark of tonight's race. So I'm not sure if maybe guys are taking turns and just trying to save some fuel together, or if maybe there's some deeper strategy that I'm unaware of. Now Vanoski's going to hold on to it. Haas running second. Joseph Penn's worked his way up into third. Butch Taylor now fourth. Logan Butler fifth. Right now, hard charger on track. It's got to be Penn in that number 24 Toyota Camry. He's up 16 spots so far and doing a good job of following the leader at 185 miles an hour. One little mistake or lapse of judgment is enough to send you careening across the raceway. And yes, Logan Butler is in the top 5 in that number 99 Ford Mustang. Right now it's two Chevys running first and second, Toyota running third and fourth, and Ford running fifth and sixth. Couldn't have planned that any better. But we will have a caution interrupt the party here, as it looks like it may be Frank Perfin involved in that one. Ooh, did Frank get help there? Or did he come down? That's a tough one. I can't tell if Frank came down or the number 29 came up. That'll be a tough one to call. Thankfully, it looks like not too much damage on Frank's number 67 Chevrolet Camaro. Ooh, as he almost gets into traffic once more. So we'll take it back to eye-pacing conditions. Just about at the halfway mark of tonight's race, and most of the field will come down pit road. So while we are under caution and for a pit cycle, we're going to run a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more action. Driver Carrington gets dumped by Benami. The leaders are winding up here. Daytona. The Pigwood is out. And we are back as the field gets gridded up once more. It gets ready to get gridded up. It's going to be Garrett Hall out front. He is opting to stay out after his lap 25 pit stop, so he will take over the lead in that number 13 machine. Jake Vanoski will be joining him on the front row. Mark Cusano and Kevin Haas will be on your second row. And then Butch Taylor and Joseph Penn will be starting on the third row for this restart. So as we get the field gridded up once more, a few cautions to make the pit cycles a little bit easier for our drivers out here today. As now we're officially gridded up. Seemed like a very long caution this time by. As we wait for that iRacing pace car to make its way down pit road, then we'll get the guys fired back up. Now, I'm not quite sure what the fuel window is for these drivers, if they're going to have to come in one more time or if we can run it out till the end here at Las Vegas. But if we do have a caution, it is almost a safe bet that everybody's going to come down pit road and at least take tires, as there is no limit to the amount of tires you can use during the Rubbins Racin Next Gen Cup Series every Tuesday night. Sponsored by Butt Kicker. The pace car comes in. As we wait with bated breath, there's the green flag. Away they go. Jake Vanoski immediately hopping down the inside groove. And oh no, that's going to be an early one on that as somebody's getting spin, and that's Frank Perfin down in the cheap seats. He's waiting for a caution that may not come here as he looks to have all sorts of damage in the number 67 machine. It'll be interesting to see if the caution comes out or not, as now it's Garrett Hall, Jake Vanoski running up front. Hard to believe the caution didn't come out there, but we are at the halfway mark. Vanoski looking down the inside line of Garrett Hall. I'm going to assume here there's no white line rules. We've seen that used a bunch. Perfin did get back to pit road, so we will definitely not have a caution here. The number 99 of Butler getting a whole lot of love from the fans as he moves back up into 8th place in the number 99 machine. Vanoski taking over the race lead from Kevin Haas. And uh-oh, Butler may be having internet problems once more. Marcus Cusano on the inside line. He takes over 4th place from Garrett Hall. It's still Vanoski, Haas, Penn, Cusano, and Hall, your top 5. As everybody running single file here once more, trying to click off some laps and avoid any incidents that may occur. As it looks like Cusano backs out of it slightly. Hall avoids getting to the back of the number 44 machine. And the top three getting a little bit of a breakaway. They're about 2/10 ahead of number 44 of Cusano. That's Vinoski, Haas, and Penn all in line. And there goes Cusano with a great save. Oh, the field's still trying to crash, and I think they're going to succeed here. And yes, the yellow flag will come out with Aaron Sire and Randall Hicks both involved. But look at this save from Cusano. Let's back that camera angle up. I want to watch Cusano save because he did everything in his rightful power to not wad up that machine. There we go. So Cusano goes on the ride of his life, gets tagged by just about everybody. But then things get bad to worse for Aaron Sire. And oh, look at the damage to Randall Hicks, number 75 machine. Randall gets obliterated. There's not much left of that machine. And we will have another caution as everybody tries to limp it down pit road. For our fourth caution of the night, slightly past the halfway mark. And we will have a brief, I guess a little bit more pacing laps here to get the field sorted back up. From about 10th place back, the field coming down pit road, 1st through 9th opt to stay out. As a few drivers will get their lucky dog wave around to try and get back in the lead lap. So that's the good news. If you have an early incident, you're not necessarily done for the night. Still an opportunity to get back out there and try and salvage some points and maybe bring home another first-time winner here at the Tuesday Night Next Gen Cup Series. Now coming into tonight, it was Dominic DeLeo with the most amount of points after last week at Bristol. He has 74 points compared to Jared Reed with 68. Wayne Grennan sits in third with 64 points. DeLeo currently 4th on track. Jared Reed currently on 11th. So you have to keep an eye on those two as things progress throughout the night. Wayne Grennan, who's also in that podium chase, he's 7th on track. And again, so far, 2 different races, 2 different winners on a Tuesday night. Getting the field gridded up double files. Vinoski and Haas, your front row. Penn and DeLeo, your second row. Everybody looking for a win here tonight, and the laps are very quickly ticking off. These races usually scheduled to be about an hour long, barring any caution, so we're going to run a little bit over that tonight. As this is our 4th caution of the evening. Right now, Jake Vinoski, your race leader, he's up 3 spots. Second place, Kevin Haas up 14. And then Joseph Penn running third in that number 24. He's up 16 positions so far here tonight. Here we go, getting everything going early. Here comes Haas trying to make the outside move on Vinoski. Joe Penn stays down low while DeLeo's on the high line. As the field all sorts of bunched up after this restart, it's still Vinoski and Haas side by side, Penn and DeLeo side by side in the second row of drivers. As that inside line aggressively using all the way down almost to the grass, trying to make that track as small as they possibly can. And that will allow Penn to take over second place from Haas, who aggressively gets on the inside line as well to follow in suit. A little bit further back, that's Logan Butler now showing fourth, but still fighting connectivity issues here tonight as you've seen him blink in and out over the duration of this event. But we've had, I don't know, 6, 7 different leaders over tonight's run. As the top 2 drivers of Vinoski and Penn stretching their legs a little bit ahead of Haas and Butler, also on the inside line. And you've also got Steve Gibson, that number 53 machine, trying to give chase as well, stay in the draft. The last thing these drivers want to do is lose that draft and allow the lead pack to get away from them. But fortunately for the guys further back, when this lead pack is playing a bit of a game of snake or crack the whip maybe, that'll slow down the pace slightly and allow the field to bunch back up as they start running nose to tail. 34 laps left to go, 34 laps left to go tonight in the feature event. As Penn staying his best to stay on the tail of Vinoski, number 7. Kevin Haas also doing a great job, number 3 machine. And look how much the field's caught up here. Able to catch that draft from the leaders and stay in tow. And it looks like it was Jared Reed just clicked off the fastest lap of the race. No, it's going to be further back. Mark Cusano, the number 44 machine, running 12th. Drops a 30.19 late into the race. As the whole field looks to be happy going single file here for a little while longer. That punches a massive hole through the air, and the guys towards further in the back can kind of accordion up to the front and set some record-breaking laps here. As right now, 1st through 9th place is all within a second of each other. Late into the race at Las Vegas, you can see it's progressively getting darker out on track as the sun starts to dip below the grandstands. Now these guys have lap traffic about a third of the track ahead of them. Not sure if and when that may become a factor. I believe the first driver that's going to go another lap down here will be Charlie Gates, that number 55 machine. He's about 5 seconds ahead of the leaders as it stands, diving into turns 1 and 2 as the leaders cross through the tri-oval. Currently in order is Vinoski, Penn, Haas, Butler, Gibson, your top 5. And we will have another caution punctuating the action. Maybe Butch Taylor. Yeah, judging by the fact I think he just flipped back over on his wheels, that's a safe bet. Let's see what happened to Taylor, because I think oh. Not sure how we got here, but boy, was it violent. Just gets slightly hooked and goes for an absolute wild ride. Great form, great rotation. As he goes pirouetting down the racetrack, and you got, oh, another flip air at the end just for style points. Gets on the gas, and you got to give him a perfect 10 for the landing. And then I believe somehow Lenz may have had a crash as well. Lenz showing us a crash and back down pit road. I think what he does is pull over and parks. Yes, Lenz takes a tow back to pit road. And that will be our 5th caution of the night. We got Grant cheering on the number 4 machine of Carter Lenz. Unfortunately, though, I believe Lenz may be retired from this event. He took another tow back down towards pit road. As we're going to get the field gridded back up, so now it's going to be Vinoski and Penn on the front row, Butler and Gibson your second row, DeLeo and Reed your third row. As the field gets gridded back up. We're going to try and pull up the results once more. Curious to see, I don't think Vinoski's had a win yet this season. No, he has not. Currently 19th in points. He's in a good spot here to really make up some ground. Right now, it's just Nick Leo and Dominic DeLeo, the 2 drivers that have picked up a win so far this season. So Vinoski, Penn, Butler, Gibson, your top 4 drivers all in a good spot to try and get their first win. And all of these drivers in a great spot to really make up some points ground on your current leader. Getting them gridded up, double file behind our pace car. As it is still 15 drivers on the lead lap here tonight in Las Vegas. There'll be 25 to go at the line. And still, I think anybody's got a pretty good shot of bringing home the victory. Curious to see how quickly that high line hops down the bottom groove as the pace car comes in. Joe Penn pretty far back there on the restart. Does he hop down low, or does he try and stay out, maybe get an outside groove working? As it looks like he realizes a little too late that maybe the inside line is the way to go. That's going to allow Logan Butler to take over second. Dominic DeLeo moves up to third. And now Penn out there in no man's land on the high line, dropping positions quickly, now showing fifth after running as high as second. That's just how crucial that inside line is. As up front, Vinoski and Butler running single file. They've got Dominic DeLeo, Nick Leo in the loop as well. Seems like most of the passes are being made under those restarts when they have a very short sprint to try and make something happen. And then it goes back to single file formation, and not a lot of ground to be make up. We haven't seen that outside groove really come into a play here. And instead what you're seeing is drivers going through the apron of the tri-oval, dropping down as low as they can to try and make an inside pass work. The drivers trying to do everything they can with what they've got and make something happen. Now, I'm still expecting one more good crash to come out here towards the end as drivers start realizing the laps are really clicking off here and they have to do something pretty extravagant to try and make up any ground. Vinoski still out front, just clicking it off. It looks like Butler's gaining a little bit of ground over DeLeo, running third here. And no one willing to be the first man to go to the outside line and maybe try and make something else happen. The field's bunching up though a little bit further back, as I believe that is Penn trying the outside line once more, but he's going to lose ground to Mark Cusano and Aaron Sire as well, as no one really seems to be willing to follow that number 24 machine out. But you gotta hand it to the new driver, number 24. At least he's trying to try something, maybe see if he can get something working. Penn still up 8 spots from where he started. That inside line has just been so extremely dominant here tonight. Vinoski and Butler have about a car length over Dominic DeLeo. DeLeo looking for another win so far this season. Nick Leo, the number 69 machine, he wants to be the first driver as well to score 2 wins here so far this season early on. But if Vinoski has the fuel to run to the end, he came in a lap 41. I don't know if we're going to see any big moves being made here, but I don't know if it's the draft package or what, but it seems like most drivers seem to be pretty happy running single file, and if you hop out of the groove, you are done and going towards the back, as we've seen countless times here tonight. Vinoski and Butler trying to break the draft, diving down as quick as they can. As lap traffic coming into frame, I believe that's going to be Gates, the number 55 machine. I think Gates may be driving a little bit wounded out here today, trying to salvage some points and just keep that Ford Mustang pointing in the right direction. And talk about manufacturers, it's a Chevy and Ford field 1st through 9th. Our current fastest Camry is pinned in that number 24 machine. He's 10th on the track. Now with 15 laps left to go, I've got to wonder, when are we going to start seeing that front bumper come into play for some of these drivers if they can even get to the back bumper of their competitors in front of them? Everybody running really strong here, still about less than a 1.4 seconds separating your top driver, Jake Vinoski, to Mark Cusano running 11th. Again, gives you an idea of just how stacked the field is here and running very, very close together. As now the top two of Vinoski and Butler having a little bit of a breakaway. Working together here and cutting through traffic. But now DeLeo getting a little bit closer to the back bumper of Butler, maybe, and trying to make something happen. Looking for some sort of weakness in that number 7's race strategy here tonight. So does Vinoski in the pink and white Ally back number 7 machine being chased by Butler in the blue and orange Dairy Queen backed Ford Mustang. And then in third place, Dominic DeLeo, he's in the red and black number 22 machine. The laps are clicking off and the patience will rapidly drop here. It'll be 10 laps left to go next time by. Everything is on the line for these drivers. In a race that's been very tough for anybody to make any passes. This is the point where we're going to see drivers trying to force the issue and make a hole if none exist. Soul to try and make something happen here. We got a little bit of double file towards the back, and here we go. Somebody just got launched to orbit. I think it's everybody got launched to orbit. Let's see, it shows Mark Cusano, Garrett Hall involved in that one. We see Joseph Penn missing a front bumper and splitter. And let's take a look and see what may have happened here. Ooh, that is the number 52 that goes for a wild ride. With the company, the number 69 machine, Joseph Penn, gets tagged as well. And that's going to collect a whole lot of good race cars there as everybody finding something to hit, be it another driver, maybe a wall. The crash still going here. And it's carnage at Las Vegas here on the Wreckage Rewind. 9 laps left to go. As that took out about 4 or 5 cars. I believe it is Joseph Penn, Jared Reed, Stephen Gibson, Garrett Hall, Mark Cusano were all involved in that incident for our 6th caution of the night. And now let's see, it's going to be Vinoski, Butler, DeLeo, Haas, and Grennan, your top 5. And this is going to be a mad dash shootout. Still likely we're going to see another crash come out, as we do have 2 green-white checker attempts for these guys. As it looks like Gibson, Leo, and Penn are in for extended stays on pit road. Maybe didn't have a fast repair left, involved in another incident early on in the race. So Leo is seeing his chances of 2 wins so far this season diminish, at least in the opening 3 rounds. Right now it's all up to Dominic DeLeo to try and bring home the 2nd win of the season, but Vinoski and Butler are going to do their best to not let that happen. And we got word from Joseph Penn on pit road. He used his fast repair a little bit earlier than expected, and he is going to be stuck in pit road for quite a while here, taking some damage. An absolutely rookie move by the number 24 Toyota driver. So we're going to try and get them gridded back up. I believe it's going to be 6 laps. No, it might be 5 laps left to go for this shootout. No, it's like it's going to be, 5 laps left to go for the next restart. Let's see what's going to happen here. It's going to be 5 to go once we cross the line for what is expected to be the final restart of the evening. Possibly the final restart of the evening. Still 12 drivers on the lead lap. Vinoski and Butler looking for their first wins of the season. Meanwhile, 3rd place Dominic DeLeo, the number 22 machine's trying to make it his 2nd so far. He would be the first driver to win 2. As the pace car is in, here we go. Already drivers diving down the apron, trying to do everything in their power to pick up a win. Dominic DeLeo, the number 22 machine, he has dropped down the bottom groove next to Logan Butler, the number 99 machine. Doing his best to catch up to the race leader of Vinoski. Not a lot of laps to try and make anything happen here. As it's about to get wild here up front, Vinoski and D'Elia running side by side. Wayne Grant, the number 28 machine, sliding past Logan Butler, edging that blue and orange Dairy Queen back race machine out of podium contention. The inside line dominant all night long. 4 laps left to go, 3 laps this time by. And we're going to have another caution coming out, as that is Haas involved in that one, as well as the 53, I believe, of Steve Gibson. So that will put us into green-white checker conditions. Let's see what happened in the wreckage rewind. That might have been net code. Try and get a better shot of that one, but it looked like no contact was made, but the cars acted like there was contact. Yeah, I think that's precisely what it was. And man, oh man, the hit from Kevin Haas, number 3 machine, just absolutely drills the outside wall. Stephen Gibson also tied up in that one. Now, even more interesting, Dominic DeLeo is coming down pit road, the number 22 machine. So now it's Vinoski, Grennan, and Reed in podium contention. As the field checks up to allow the pace car, I believe, to catch up to him. As yes, the top guys are coming to a stop here. You see the pacing car making its way up. And now we'll get back out there in time for our first green-white checker attempt of the evening. Now, if you're tuning in for the first time, maybe supporting a family member or friend who's racing out there, as we got Terry Crouch joining us. It's always great seeing Terry as well on off the track. We are in green-white checker conditions, which is basically the equivalent of overtime. Now, if these drivers can get going, but they do have another caution come out before the leader takes the white flag, we will go into our second and final overtime attempt. But if the race leaders take the white flag before an incident happens on track, we will run this out till the end under green flag conditions. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And the drivers know that too, knowing that we have a couple more opportunities to maybe make something happen. And that's it. We're going to wrap up for the evening. So if you thought there was some carnage earlier, you're about to see it now. As we get the field gridded back up here. Again, first green-white checker attempt of the evening. We've got 2, so 1 more in reserve in case it's needed. And let's see what Vinoski and Grennan can do on the front row. Grennan's going to be on that high side, which has been a tough spot to be in. Your second row is the number 5 of Jared Reed and Garrett Hall. Reed on the inside, which is, I think, the preferred line tonight at Las Vegas, as it's been a lot of single file shenanigans. But now is the time where you're definitely going to see the bumpers coming into play to try and pick up a win. As right now, Nick Leo running 7th is in the best spot to get the second race win of the season, but he's got 6-7 drivers in front of him who are trying to be a first-time winner here tonight as well for the Rubbins Racing Online Next Gen Cup Series. Here we go. Vinoski and Grennan get the party started up front. Jared Reed trying to hold on the inside line. Grennan not quite able to get clear yet. He's going to try and get down low, but that's going to be real tough to do, as we've seen time and again here tonight. And here we go once more. That is Garrett Hall and a whole bunch of others involved. Dominic DeLeo, I believe, was involved in that one. And just like that, we're going into second green-white checker attempt, ladies and gentlemen. As Lee see what happened to DeLeo here. I'm not sure if we're seeing more netcode than normal tonight, or what the issue may be, or just drivers trying to get down low. Let's see what happened to Garrett Hall as well in that wreckage rewind. Ooh, Hall getting tossed around and collecting several poor innocent drivers in the process. So now we will go to our second attempt of a green-white checker. Dominic DeLeo heads down pit road. Let's see if he has a fast repair left in reserve for that number 22. All these drivers only have 1 fast repair available. And again, that is a get-out-of-jail-free card. Doesn't matter the damage. You can come down pit road if you can get to pit road and come back out with a brand new race car. But as these races run on, I believe that is our, let's see what it says here, 8th caution of the night. A lot of these drivers have used up that fast repair early. And it looks like it's going to be 12 drivers on the lead lap in the final attempt of a green-white checker finish. Now again, if we can take the white flag, we will finish the race no matter the incidents. But if the caution comes out before the race leader takes the white flag, we will end this thing under yellow at Las Vegas. I believe that would be the first time that this would have happened this season. Not uncommon to use the green-white checker tips. Everybody's pushing hard at the end, but I don't think we've had a race end under caution quite yet. Drivers trying to get back on the lead lap for this final attempt. Going to be very curious to see what happens tonight. Are we going to finish this thing under green, or are we going to wrap it up under caution, perhaps? We're going to try and get the field gridded up. Jared Reed having a rough season so far, but now in striking distance of his first win. He'll be starting the outside line, accompanied with Jake Vinoski, Logan Butler, Wayne Grinnan, your second row, Nick Leo, and Kevin Haas, your third row. And what will be, for better or worse, our final restart of the evening. Let's see, and let me know what your predictions are. Are we going to finish this thing under green, or are we going to have that yellow flag proudly flying once more? As we've seen it all, aggressive pushes, netcode incidents, and simple mistakes that have taken out a large portion of the field. Now 11 drivers on the lead lap. Out of the 20 that started to drive here tonight, so about half the field going home early. Pace car will be making its way in this time by. And here we go, the final restart of the evening. Vinoski and Reed strongly out front. Reed going to try and get down to that bottom groove as quickly as he can, that number 5 machine, but Logan Butler in the 99 is going to say no, sir. As well as Nick Leo in the 69 going to try and keep Jared Reed out there in no man's land. Reed hops down, looks like in third place, yes, just ahead of Nick Leo. And Logan Butler with another big blink in the 99 machine, doing his best just to hold on for what could be a couple more laps under green if we can keep this thing going. The field looks fairly stretched out, and we have taken the white flag. The final time to make something happen is now. This is the last chance to make something happen. Vinoski and Butler running nose to tail. Jared Reed trying to get his way into the party as well. Looked like Reed got a little bit loose there coming out of turn 2. Reed looks to the outside line, a gutsy move. Immediately hops back down the inside line, realizing he has no draft support from behind. And the battle for fourth, Nick Leo, Wayne Grinnan going side by side, and 2 wide and almost 3 wide there. But tonight it's going to be Jake Vinoski, Logan Butler, Jared Reed bringing home the podium. And Vinoski will add to the names of first-time winners here at the Rubbins Racin Next Gen Series, sponsored by Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing. Vinoski with a well-deserved win. He is up 3 spots from where he started, and it's been a bit of a rough go for several drivers, but Vinoski able to keep it relatively clean here today and bring home that top spot. And Jake Vinoski's going to burn it down in style here today. Oh, that's not the right camera angle. After a very hard-fought win in that number 7 Chevrolet, it's Chevy on the top spot. And then Ford rounding out second and third here today. But Vinoski going to enjoy his time in the limelight as we're waiting on, I believe it's Logan Butler to make his way up here into the waiting room. But let's get the race leaders up here as far as the podium goes. Up first, we've got Jared Reed joining us in the number 5 spot. Jared, it seemed like tonight went a little bit better than the opening rounds. Are you happy to be back up here and maybe avoid what was arguably a little bit more carnage than we were expecting at Las Vegas?
Yeah, definitely more cautions than we hoped for, but it is nice to be up here talking to you today.
Now, Jared, what do you think led to the cautions tonight? Was it over-aggressiveness? Was it drivers trying to get down the inside groove? Or was it just kind of a mix of drivers just coming together at the wrong time?
Yeah, I think it's definitely to do with this package. Like you're saying, everybody was trying to get down to the bottom line, and uh, people chopping noses off and everything. I don't know what happened on each of them, but that seemed to be a big theme of tonight.
Well, able to keep it clean, that number 5 machine. Did you have a strategy tonight to make your way back up towards the front? You started off 6th, you end up in 3rd, and kind of a roller coaster, but what was the strategy coming into tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping that we'd have a little bit better racing where you could get the outside line rolling. It was kept on trying that, and every time I just fall back, and then got in a couple wrecks, but saved my fast repair towards the end, and that always pays off.
Well, it seemed like it worked out well for you. Always a great time having you up here in Victory Lane. Jared, who would like to give a shout out to, friends, family, sponsors that's cheering you on out here tonight?
Well, first off, I want to thank Butt Kicker for coming on board for this series, and then just everybody that's here with the league. It's nice to have this big of a field, everybody at Rubbins Racing, and then a better hammer on Twitch.
Awesome. Jared, congratulations again, and hope to see you back up here next week, my friend.
All right, thanks, James. Good talking to you.
You as well, sir. That was Jared Reed finishing 3rd at the number 5. Up next, we've got Logan Butler in the 99 Ford Mustang, sponsored by Dairy Queen. Logan, you're getting a whole lot of love from the fans at home. Was that what was helping you push forward tonight?
Heck yeah, James. We did it. Top 3, baby.
Not a bad night. Now, we saw a lot of carnage, a lot of incidents. What was the plan for you to try and keep your nose clean tonight and bring it home at the end?
Well, I definitely think I did not get home super clean because once I saw an early on wreck, I just dipped into the middle and booked it as fast as I could. Picked up a couple spots early on that way. But, yeah, I don't know. I just drive. Drive.
It seemed like it worked out well for you, Logan. Now, what's the story with the Dairy Queen paint scheme? Are they a title sponsor this season, or are you just a big fan of the Blizzard?
Big fan of the Blizzard. It's the hashtag sponsor me please Dairy Queen Mobile. So if they're out there watching, which I doubt they are, but if they are, sponsor me please. We will get this going.
Well, Logan, to help tag on to the Dairy Queen, which is of your favorite Blizzard so we can make sure they send you the right product after tonight's great race?
Oh, you got to shout out that Reese's peanut butter cups. Can't go wrong with peanut butter.
Excellent choice, a man of culture, Logan Butler. Logan, congratulations again on a hard-fought second. Before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout-out to or say thanks that's helping you out here tonight?
Yeah, so I got to shout out my main guy, Mike Lane. He was on the phone with my brother right next to me during these cautions, getting me through it. I got to shout out these sponsors for the league, RubbinsRacing.com, Linden Steel Company, and A Better Hammer on Twitch. Also, the Butt Kicker for sponsoring this league. Oh, boy, this is great.
Well, awesome. Logan, congratulations, man, up here in Victory Lane, that 99 Ford Mustang. Hope to see you get back out here in the future, and congratulations again on a hard-fought second.
Thank you, James. We did it.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations. That was a very excited Logan Butler bringing it home in the second-place spot. And next, the man of the hour, Jake, the number 7 Chevrolet. Had a clean run, defended that inside line like your life absolutely depended on it over the course of 90 laps.
Yeah, you ain't getting there. I was sweating at the end.
Now, Jake, I mean, we saw you start being one of the first drivers to go down the apron pretty early. Were you figuring out maybe pretty early on that outside line wouldn't have the momentum? Or what was the strategy going into that, or thought process, I should say?
Yeah, during practice, I played around a little top line, bottom line, and I did some drafting, and the top line just was going absolutely nowhere because essentially with this package, you're wide open the whole time. It's basically a mini Daytona. So you do want to protect the bottom as much as you can, and some of the guys were starting to get a little low, and I didn't want to leave any room on the bottom, so I figured using the apron early on just to test that out and see what would happen, kind of get me back in line and get that push down in turn 1.
Well, it seemed like it worked out really well for you. That the data you collected in practice as well throughout the race really paid off. Now, talking about the current package we have for the mile and a halfers feel like super speedways, how do you think the new 650 horsepower low spoiler feature is going to really shake things up out there?
I think it'll be much better. It gives you a chance to try different lines, different strategies. You don't have to solely focus so much on strategy and drafting with somebody and sticking on the bottom. It lets you move around, find different lines, and try different runs, and should mix the field up a little bit and give people different opportunities.
Well, it looked like things were going well for you. Congratulations again. 3 races, 3 different winners, and you picked up the top spot in that number 7 Chevrolet. And you get the distinct pleasure, my friend, for the final time tonight. The floor is yours for any friends, family, sponsors, any other shout-outs you want to give out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to give a shout out to you. You do a great job up in that broadcast booth. Buck Kicker as well for being a sponsor here. Yeah, the number 7 Chevy was pretty good, so shout out to Chevrolet for a fast car. My brother Josh, my spotter, he did a hell of a job tonight. And some friends and family out in New Hampshire and in New York. You guys are awesome.
Well, Jake, congratulations, man. Your first time up here in the top spot in victory lane, a well-deserved victory. Hope to see you carry that success early on in the future, and we wish you the best of luck, man. Hope to see you back up here next week.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'll be here next week, hopefully. Have a good one.
Sir. You as well, sir. And that was Jake Vinoski bringing home the very top spot here at the Rubbins Racing Next Gen Cup Series. As we pull up the results, it was a wild night for everybody, but it was Vinoski, Butler, Reed rounding out our podium with 11 drivers finishing off and finishing on the lead lap here. On behalf of RubbinsRacing.com, Butt Kicker, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, thank you all so much for tuning in. We appreciate you so much. We couldn't do this without you guys, and we will see you at the same time, same place next week. Have a great night, everyone.